it's a lot of responsibility for Brazil to host the G20 summit meeting next year. Everybody knows that we'll chair the G20, and we will put the inequality issue as the core issue for the next 20 process for our discussion. It's necessary for once and for all that we should take into account and that develop a certain indignity on the rulers and the leaders about the inequalities of gender, race, education, inequality of education and food. The world is there's a lot of inequality in the world. We have few with a lot and many with very few resources. And so we have to build an understanding that the world needs more balance in terms of the wealth distribution that is being produced, so that we do not have to sleep every day to knowing that there's 730 million people that are in hunger. And so this is extremely important. There's a lot of sensitivity. Another issue that we're going to put on the order of the day is the energy transition that we'll discuss next year in the G20 process. Brazil has an extraordinary potential in the production of clean energy. Today we have of our electrical power, almost 90% is fully clean, and in the whole of the energy production, we have 70% compared to 15% of the rest of the world in terms of clean energy. So on biofuels and clean energy, Brazil has a lot to teach to the other countries, and that's why we want to share what we are capable to produce, so that they can produce in their own respective countries, as also we can make joint ventures and associations that our companies could ally, or joint ventures with their companies, so that we can depollute the planet with clean energy sources. So we have differential in that and a lot of technology. And another point that is very important that we're going to discuss is the reform of the multilateral institutions. So the World Bank, it's necessary to change in the World Bank. It's necessary that the developed countries could also assume leadership in the bank. Since the very first meeting, we tried to propose changes. There are very slight changes that happen in these institutions, and we want to discuss the issue of the membership, the permanent member of the UN Security Council, which is important for us to change the geography of 1945 and put in a new map of 2024, which is the year that we're going to have the discussion of the G20 in Brazil. That's a lot of a responsibility to organize, to be the host country for such an event. You saw here the structure that was necessary to set up to receive the amount of people that come to the G20. But in Brazil, I'm sure that we will do well, that we'll have a very beautiful G20 summit meeting, so that people